That was funny. He tried to act like he didn't know he was supposed to sit. He worked that applause. Yes. It worked. So, I love you, Richard, because without you, there's no me, brother. I just want you to know that.
In all the interviews I've done with comedians, when you ask who is your idol, the name most mentioned is Richard Pryor, from Eddie Murphy to Robin Williams. They all say Richard Pryor. He is to comedy what Elvis is to music, I guess. I remember one night at the Comedy Store, and Richard might remember this situation. There was a comic who was struggling, as we all are at some point, and it was cold out. I think his name was Dave Tyree, if I'm not mistaken. And Richard saw him standing like this, and we would stand in the cold and listen to Richard talk, and he used to hold court, and all the comics would listen, and the guy was like this, and Richard said, you need a jacket, and gave him the leather coat that he was wearing. Richard just took the coat off and handed it to Dave. And you always hear about people giving the shirt off their back. I saw him give his jacket away, and the funny part about it, because there's always a funny part when it's involving Richard, the next night, Richard came to the Comedy Store to practice his act, and he said, Dave, I got to have that jacket back. And he said, my wife was very mad that I gave that jacket to you. I have to take the jacket back. And Dave gave him the jacket back, and I learned something that night. Not only does Richard have a great heart, but he has no idea what kind of women to pick. We've had some fun, and from the days that you let me sit on the JoJo Dancer set, and you said, just watch, to the days you followed me and Patti LaBelle to different venues and gave me advice and told me what to do and what not to do. You're a brilliant man and a wonderful humanitarian. We love you, Richard, and there'll never be another. Thank you. Later.
I'm a little nervous, not because I'm standing in front of a bunch of people, but everybody else has come out and sort of done their little thing and managed to get through it without getting choked up. And I don't want to be the one to spill over, so this is something that I asked to be a part of. I was invited to come, and I said, no, you got to let me come on and say my piece. I remember when I was about 7, I saw Richard Pryor on the Della Reese show. And I remember the routine he did. He did a thing about being chased home from school by the bully, and how the bully beats you up before they ever touch you. And it was how the guy had him in class and looking across the table going, Now, I had just had that same experience. And the reason I was home watching Della Reese because I was scared to go outside. So I'm sitting there watching this, and immediately I said, now I know what's different about me. I want to be like this guy. My mother would wake me up whenever he was on TV. She would come get me and go, that skinny boy's on TV. That's what she used to call him. And I'd rush out and wipe the crust out my eyes just to watch Richard. And I had the privilege of watching him go from the Della Reese show and watching that skinny boy grow into a man. And not just an ordinary man, a very vocal man, a man that brought the black perspective to comedy, something that had never been done before. Not all audiences were prepared for this kind of humor, but Richard was undaunted. He told the pain and struggle of being a black man in a white society. And he also touched on the pride and humor that's on the same side of that coin. But this is what I wanted to say. I've seen Richard on the stage at the Comedy Store, and I remember Arsenio saying, yo, man, I'll introduce you. You want to meet him? I said, no. I remember going to the set of Harlem Nights, and Eddie going, come on, man, I'll introduce you. I said, no. And the reason was that I never wanted to meet Richard as a fan. I wanted to do something. I wanted to accomplish something so I could say, you did this. So now, I'd like to meet you. Thank you.
We all know that Richard has occasionally gotten into a little trouble. But his really close friends know that if you're with Richard, sometimes you can actually get into trouble too. I can best describe this by telling you about one night, one single night, which I spent with Richard. And he knows that I'm a big fight fan, and he asked me if I would like to go to Vegas in a private jet to see hitman Tommy Hearns fight Sugar Ray Leonard, and I said, "Are you crazy?" "Yes." So I drove out to the airport, and a great big limousine came up with 5 of the richest black people I've ever seen in my life. Richard said, "Guys, you remember Burt Reynolds used to be big in movies." And then we was getting on the plane, and Richard said, "Sit in the back." So we arrived in Vegas, and we were riding along, from the airport in a limousine, and we drove right past Arsenio Hall. He was just walking along, Of course, this was before, stuff. Well, anyway, he rolled down the window and said, "Hey, Arsenio, you remember Burt used to be big in movies?" He said, "You just keep walking because he don't want any more black people in the car." I never appeared on Arsenio's show. I don't know why. The fight was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my life. And after the fight, Sugar won, and Richard said, "Let's go up to their rooms and we'll pay our respects to the guys." And I said, "Great." And so we sailed right through 21 bodyguards with Richard in front, of course, and we went in, and Sugar was lying on the bed, and he had ice on every part of his body. And Richard leaned down and said, "Sugar, you remember Burt? He used to be big in movies, He said, he thought Tommy won. But he thought you was the best dancer, and you got most congenial." But you see, I think that Sugar knew that, Richard has a tendency to make those kind of remarks. And so Sugar would have smiled, but his lips were too far away from his mouth. Anyway, I love you, and I know how much you care about champions. But champions, world champions, can lose their title. You're never, ever going to lose your title. I love you.
No salute to Richard Pryor will be complete without a few words from one of the comedians who was out there even before Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dick Gregory.
Let me first say, Richard, good evening, and second, let me say we thank and praise God for this evening. When Brother George called me, various people saying that why they here, I didn't want to be here tonight because 20 years ago when I was 39, when you was making your first trip to Africa, you called Bob Johnson of Jet Magazine. You wanted to take a black brother with you. And I told Bob to tell you, I'm not about to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa. Them black folks over there is eating folks. And I told Bob to tell you, you can go by yourself. I'm going to Milwaukee and hang out with white folks where it's safe. So I come tonight to apologize. Africa is safe, Milwaukee's dangerous. Richard, you know, this country has produced three geniuses in the field of comic. Mark Twain, Lenny Bruce, and you. The interesting thing that separates you, Mark Twain, Lenny Bruce, you used the Constitution, freedom of speech. Mark Twain did some stuff that cannot be released for 400 years after he's dead. You stood flat-footed and took the United States Constitution and said, I will exercise my freedom of speech. I will not change my experiences. You'll listen to it, and you won. And so I come here tonight to say to you, we thank you, because you see, in a system with racism and sexism, which breed hatred into all of us, and meanness and bitterness, but thank God, God gave us two antidotes to get rid of that poison. The minor one is called laughter. That's the job that we comedians have. And you just get out there and you talk about it and you make people laugh and it burns that poison up. God blessed us to be the minor one, and all of you all have to depend on us for the minor. But the major one, God put that burden on all of you. It's called forgiveness. Burns up poison in the body. And so, Richard, so you won't be let down tomorrow when you wake up after tonight, look around this room on your way out and remember, every one of us here had something to do tonight. So we're not here because we didn't have nothing to do. We're here to say we love you, brother. Thank you.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'm nervous. I'm terrified, more than usual. Well, this thing is gonna be televised, so I'd like to say this first. If you ever see me getting beaten up by the police, or if you see me getting beaten up by anybody, put the video camera down and help me. I've had a different kind of experience than a lot of the comics I've heard tonight. When I was a teenager, my mother told me not to watch you. My mother's not a racist. She just, I don't know, but when she told me not to watch you, I knew you had to be really, really good. I knew there had to be something great going on there. So, I don't know. I guess I don't know you very well, but I do owe you a lot. And the things I owe you, Dick kind of talked about it. It's the fact that because of you, I learned that I can talk about sex and not be sexist. And I can talk about gays and not be homophobic. And I learned that I can be cutting edge and not be racist. And there's a lot of hate in the world now, and there's a lot of hate in comedy. But and there's a lot of people, you know, and they use you, like they say, well, Richard Pryor said these words, but when you said it, you meant it with love, and it was very healing. And I hate it when comics get maudlin and serious, so I think I'm gonna puke real quick here. It's nothing more pretentious than watching this. George Foreman said, are you gonna be funny? It's like, well, seeing that you're saying that, do I really have a choice in not being funny? So, all I say is that I owe you a ton. I wouldn't be in this business without you, without your inspiration, and I'm really, really glad I don't listen to my mother that much. Thank you.
I am moved beyond anything I've ever felt. This is a warm and wonderful for me. I never knew, for instance, that Eddie Murphy loved me like he does. No, to do this, I mean, like Dick Gregory said, you know, you all had a lot to do tonight, and you chose to do it here, and I thank you for that. And I'm alive and well. I'm happy to be here, and thank you all very much. And I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that nice reception, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here to join in this wonderful celebration for my little friend, who's the best friend I ever had. 60 years. That's a lot of bourbon under the bridge, baby, I'll tell you that. And I knew that you would amount to something, but I didn't feel that you were going to amount to everything. And he did it all. He really did. Anyway, people are going to say that, they're going to say a lot of nice things about you tonight, Sam. A lot of wonderful adjectives, so that I want to get my licks in before they come out here. And I say, here's to you, Sam. You know I love you. I can't say it any more than that. You're my brother. And you're the greatest.
Sammy Davis Jr. So when I was a child, when I was a young boy and I was 10 years old, and I would hear that name, or I would see your name, or somebody would talk about you, I would just get so excited, and I would just, it's hard to put into words, it's hard to say it, but I just idolized you. I idolized you. And as I grew up, as I grew and our lives passed, I grew in that too. And so now I feel so much love for you that I'm going to try to dance it out for you. No, save it for the end. I have a very weak finish. No? got more. What? Got a shoehorn? Is some cute? Here. Real cute. Nice and light. A little faster. Now stop time. Stop time.
Thank you. This is a nice evening, huh? This is really nice. Sammy, I'm impressed. I really am, man. There's 5,000 people out here. Some who paid $500 a piece just to sit out here and watch you laugh. You know, that's great. And I'm just real happy to be here, to be a part of it. And I saw all these wonderful people. And Sammy, they're all here to tell you how much they love you and how wonderful they think you are. Yeah.
Well, Sammy, I can remember those great times we had together at the Sands back in the 60s. You, me, and what's his name? Remember all the fun we had making those movies together? Sergeants 3, Privates Nothing. Ocean's 11, Gone with the Wind. We weren't in that. Frankly, Sam, I don't give a damn. I could go on with this trip down memory lane, but I think you'd be more interested in these wires that came in from all over the world. Just made that up. They've asked me to read these because I have my own glasses and a lovely voice. Here's one from Hollywood. Dear Sammy, you have always been a class act, and I've patterned my career after you. Signed, Roseanne Barr. From overseas, dear Mr. Davis, please stay away from my daughter. Signed, Mother Teresa. I'm sorry, that's signed Teresa's mother. And here's one from the royal family. Dear Sam, the kids join us in congratulating you on this great event. Signed, Debbie and Charlie Royal. Here's one, would love to be with you tonight, but I have to be at the Sammy Davis 60th anniversary celebration. All best wishes, Dean Martin. I better get out of here if I'm going to make that. I'd like to add one more little wire before I leave. Roses are red, carnations are pink. If I had your talent, I wouldn't have to drink. And I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wilma Rudolph.
When Ali, Rayford Johnson, and I came home from the Olympics, winning our gold medals in 1960, Ali was 18 years old. I found myself one day riding with him in a car down the street in Louisville, and it was a pink Cadillac. Then we called him Cassius Clay, and you won't believe that he was standing up in the back seat. He was yelling, "I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest." Not only did he yell that he was the greatest, he would turn around and announce to all of the people that she's greater than I. And that was the first time that you'd ever admitted that I was greater than you. You see, I won 3, he won 1. And years later, there was a story going around that Muhammad Ali was refused service in a restaurant, and he threw his medal away in anger. Of course, the story was not true, because that medal meant too much to him. He never threw it away, but he did lose it. So the Olympic Committee, for his 50th birthday, is making a replica of that medal he won in 1960. It's not ready yet, but I tell you what I'm going to do, Ali. Until your medals get here, and I've thought about this all day, you can borrow one of mine, okay?
Oh, man. Muhammad Ali, the greatest comedian of all time. I'm gonna tell you. See, we didn't just learn from you from boxing. I used to watch you for comedy. And he used to predict knocking people out. Think about this. People wasn't fighting to win. They just didn't want to get knocked out when Ali said he was going to knock them out. In 4, you're going to hit the floor. People like this, I'm going to 5, Jack. I ain't getting hit. I'm going to 5. And also, boxing is the only sport. See, basketball, football, I play basketball. You can blame a loss on your teammates. You know, you go out after the game. If they had passed me the ball, we might could have won the game. In boxing, you can't talk about nobody. You gotta, and the thing is, they're waiting for you at the interview too. You've been knocked out, and you come out, well, what happened? I got knocked down. But you can't say it like that. Boxers never admit when they lose. You ever notice that? Boxers would never say, man, I got outboxed, he beat me up. They come out there, his eye closed. I can't believe they stopped the fight. Just because my eye was closed. I have trained with one eye for the last year. I was using the eye dope technique. And Ali was a good dancer. He was the hammer of boxing. The man was the hammer of boxing. And as much as you dance in the ring, I've seen photos and videos of you dancing, you can't dance. The man can dance in the ring. He'll be in there. You get him on the club, he'll be... Ali, all off beat. I wasn't ashamed. I said, champ, sit down. Champ, sit down. Had his own style. Hit somebody, champ. Hit somebody on the floor. Oh, man. But I tell you, Muhammad Ali is something special, man. He lives around the place in Berrien Springs, Michigan, by my home. And we used to hear he would go to Baskin Robbins. This is the only man, children would go out in the snow, 50 below zero, waiting to see this man. And the man would speak to, Ali, the only person, I guess you don't need a bodyguard when you beat people up. Ali would walk by himself to get ice cream and the kids, and he would sign autographs for everybody and hit all the children. Sometimes you hit the children hard. You didn't know, Ali. You knocked some of us down. He'd be playing boom, like, oh, thanks. Thanks, Ali, thanks. No, don't help me up. Don't help me up. I couldn't train like a boxer. Could you see training like, you got to train what? 8, 9 months for a fight? Can you see that training for 8 months and get knocked down in the first round? How you explain that to your family? You've flown your family out to the fight. They getting popcorn. All of a sudden, he's down. You're like, what? I was trying to get a hot dog. When did he go down? And then how you gonna give an interview after you get knocked down in the first round? I was in shape, my hands felt good, my face felt good, my legs just quit. They just quit. That was the hardest 30 seconds of my life. I'm gonna tell you something that I've never said before. I tell you, I will box anybody for $5 million. Boxing has gone up so much in price, man. Ali, can you see the money they're making now? Give me $5 million, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight you for $5 million. And I'll just hit the floor when you come in. Fight! Where's my check? Where's my check? And think about jump rope. Remember before, we used to think jumping rope was for women. Till I started watching boxers, man, y'all be. I tried that. You hurt a lot of children. I went home. Plastic rope hit you upside your face. I went to school with lacerations across my face because I wanted to be like Muhammad Ali. But tonight I want to say something I've never said to the champ before. To me and mine, you're the greatest that ever lived. I tell you, man, I love you. And something I never ever tell you till now because you can't catch me. You got some fine daughters. I want you to know that. Fine. I love you, champ.
Now, Muhammad Ali has had many careers. Boxer, humanitarian, porn star. No, I'm sorry, poet. But what if he was an adult video star? Bring a whole new meaning to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, baby.
Rumble, young man, rumble. Still got the magic in your hips, I see. But I'm gonna tell you something, no matter what the situation was with Ali, no matter what the situation, no matter how hard or how high the stakes were, he always managed to come up with a joke. Ali versus Frazier, 4th round. Ali has just hit Joe Frazier with a tremendous combination of punches. Ali goes to his corner and turns to Bundini. The whole world is watching, wondering, what are they talking about? Ali says, "Did you bring lunch?" Bundini panics. He thinks Ali has lost his mind. Calls out for the smelling sauce. Ali says, "I don't need smelling sauce. Did you bring lunch?" Bundini asks, "What are you talking about, Ali?" Ali says, "Because I just hit Frazier with everything I had." And Frazier looked at me and said, "Is that all you got? So we're gonna be here all day. Go get me lunch." Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Don't make me come over there. There's very little that I can add to say about the champ that he hasn't already said himself. And tonight I'd like to pay tribute to this man who is a hero of mine and many others with a piece that I wrote and last performed in 1980. And when the champ called me to come tonight, I had to do it, and I'd love to do it for you now. It's called 15 Rounds. Hello once again, everyone. The name is Howard Cosell. We're awaiting the arrival home of young 18-year-old Cassius Marcellus Clay, the young man who at the recent 1960 Rome Olympiad, right there, shocked and amused the world with his boxing ability and braggadocio, if you will. Here he is now. He's only 18 years of age. Cassius, do you plan to turn professional?
Yes, I do, Mr. Cosell. You see, nobody's ever seen nothing like me. I'm so fast, I'm so pretty. I'm so fast I can play ping pong by myself. And I'm predicting to you in that bad toupee that someday I'm gonna gain 30 pounds, I'm gonna become the heavyweight champion of the world.
Sonny Liston's not coming out. Incredibly young Cassius Clay, just as he predicted to this reporter 4 short years ago, has knocked out the man he called the Big Ugly Bear and become the new heavyweight champion of the world.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am Muhammad Ali. I will never be known as Cassius Clay again. Cassius Clay is a slave's name. I'm now a disciple of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm now a black Muslim minister. I am now Muhammad Ali.
In the top of the news today, the eyes of the sports world focused on Houston, Texas, where heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, also known as Cassius Clay, is expected today to refuse military induction on the grounds of being a religious, conscientious objector. In other news, the Vietnam buildup continues today.
I will not fight in this war, Howard. I ain't got no quarrel against no Viet Cong. This war is an unjust war. I will not fight.
Step forward when I call your name, please. Step forward when I call your name, please. Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay.
Gentlemen, please, I have a brief statement. As Commissioner of the New York Boxing Association, we are issuing the following proclamation. A few hours ago, heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, also known as Cassius Clay, refused military induction. We are hereby stripping him of the heavyweight title. Now, please. The State Department is also revoking his passport. Therefore, he will not be licensed to fight any place in the world, including exhibitions. Today, June 20th, 1967, a sad day for us all. Ali today, convicted of draft evasion, fined $10,000, sentenced to 5 years in prison. There will be an appeal. For 3.5 years, I couldn't fight. My best years, my prime years, man, my great years. 3.5 years, my 26, 27, 28, 29.5 years old. You know, my best years. But then, out of nowhere, the state of Georgia, 1970, give me a title, license to come back and fight Jerry Quarry. Ugly Jerry Quarry. He's ugly. He got cut at the weigh-in. And I couldn't wait. 3 rounds, boom, knock him out. Then I go to Madison Square Garden, New York City. Oscar Bonavent is big, is awkward. He comes from Argentina. 15 rounds, I go, 15 rounds, boom, left hook, knock that sucker out. And now Joe Frazier's the champion. I want Joe Frazier. The winner and still heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier. I still think I won. Now I guess I gotta start all over again. Today, vindication. Ali's conviction for draft evasion today overturned by the United States Supreme Court by an 8-0 vote. Ali was right. It is indeed an unjust war. Howard, I'm free. I'm free at last. Now I can start all over again, become the heavyweight champion again. Yesterday, an unknown heavyweight from San Diego, California, an unheralded Marine named Ken Norton, defeated Muhammad Ali and in so doing broke the ex-champion's jaw. Ali fighting 11 rounds with a severely damaged mandible. I'm in the hospital now with Ali. His jaws are wired shut. Perhaps poetic justice. But more importantly, at the age of 33, have we seen the last of the great one? Muhammad, is this the end of the line for you? You know the jaws wired shut, I got hit pretty good. I'm still pretty. Ain't that pretty, Howard? I got messed up a little bit, Howard. I can come back. You don't think I can come back? You and that bad thing sitting on top of your head. You don't think I can come back, huh? Well, I can't come back. All I gotta do is start all over again. George Foreman is down incredibly here in Zaire, Africa, halfway around the world. Ali, at the age of 33, has knocked out a seemingly invincible George Foreman in the 8th round and become only the 2nd man ever to regain the heavyweight title. An incredible upset. Coach tells you, chump, I told you I was the greatest. October 1, 1975, Manila, the Philippines, Pearl of the South Pacific. Ali Frazier, the 3rd time around. Frazier unable to answer the bell for the 15th round. The Thriller in Manila. This was not boxing. This was a war. A big piece of Ali remained in that ring. I fought everybody. Everybody that wants to fight me, I fought. I didn't duck nobody. I was colorful. I predicted the rounds. I was bigger than boxing. My fights were seen all over the world. I fought Joe Frazier 3 times. I fought Ken Norton 3 times and sat through Mandingo twice. I was tougher than 500 shavers. I was bigger than... Every place I go, they know me. I go to Bangladesh, they yell Ali. I go to Africa, they yell Ali Bombaya. I go to Russia, I seen Brezhnev in person. Carter couldn't get him on the phone. I'm 36 years of age. I'm 36, still pretty. Ain't that something, 36 years of age looking like me? And they say that I'm slowing down. Hell, I'm still so fast. I can turn out the lights in my bedroom, be in the bed before the room gets dark. The only thing that can whoop me now is Father Time. It's over. Young Leon Spinks, with only 8 professional fights, has decision of seemingly aging Muhammad Ali here in Las Vegas. An incredible upset, so much like the young Cassius Clay 14 years ago in that ring in Miami Beach. The champ is dead. Long live the champ. He surprised me, that Spinks. You know, I guess that's the only thing that I can tell you, Howard, about that fight. You know, I didn't train like I wanted to train. You know, didn't do the things in the ring that I wanted to do. You know, I just gave up too much. I gave the ugly sucker the first 7 rounds, and I tried to come back, you know. Hell, I figured he was so ugly, ain't no way he could beat me. Oh, Leon. They took away his driver's license. He walked into a telephone pole. Everybody's saying to me now, they're saying, hey, champ, you know, you must feel bad that you ain't no champ no more, you know? But, you know, you lost to some kid who looked like he had a train run through his face. And I say, hey, man, I ain't got nothing to be sorry about. You see, everybody in life suffers a loss. It's the one who can overcome the loss and make a success of himself that's really doing something with his life. As I look back over my career, I was heavyweight champion 14 years ago, man. Ain't that something? 14 years ago. I've had a great life. Allah's been good to me. 59 professional fights, made a lot of money, got beautiful kids, great family. I got everything to look forward to. But something's eating at me. I don't want to go out losing to no Leon Spinks with 8 professional fights. I don't want to be remembered as being out of shape in that ring of Las Vegas. I want him one more time. I'm gonna do it. I'm 36 years of age, my body's tired, I don't like training very much, but starting tomorrow, I'm getting in shape for the rematch with Leon. I'm getting up early, I'm gonna run with the moon. I'm gonna start hitting the table, do my push-up, do my sit-up, do whatever I have to do. I'm gonna take every kind of punch and do what I have to do, because I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be the first man ever to win the title for the 3rd time. Nobody's ever done nothing like that. But then again, nobody's ever been anything quite like me. And I'm predicting that I'm gonna do it, because I wanna be the heavyweight champion for the 3rd time, because I can do it. And you can do it too. No matter what you is in life, no matter what color, no matter what religion, it's never too late to start all over again. Never forget that, and you'll never forget me. I am the greatest of all time. I think the evening would be complete without a few words from the greatest of all time.
I'd just like to say I thank everyone for being here. I'm really emotional. I didn't believe that they would take so much time to spend so much time on me. All my wife, my friends, Howard Bingham, they all deceived me. They wouldn't tell me what was happening. I'm just now finding out who's going to be here. So I'll take care of them later. I have one announcement to make. I know it might shock you, but I got a big announcement to make. It's gonna shock you. You're gonna say I'm too old. I shall return.